Well, I started painting when I was a little girl, about 4 or 5 years old, and I had the same art teacher from age 6 to age 16 when I graduated high school. So he taught me, drawing, painting, still life, animals. I learned oils, acrylics, watercolor, ink, charcoal, and I always wanted to grow up to be an artist. My school application, when I was signed up when I was 6, they asked, what you want to grow up to be. And I wrote there, an artist and a scientist. So I've always also been very interested in science and biology and math and how things work, physics. So while studying art my whole life, I've also been very interested in science. I actually got my degree in bioengineering from UC Berkeley. And it's funny, they just kind of blend together naturally for me. There's a science behind art, there's a science to beauty and how to capture that beauty in a canvas and a two-dimensional surface. So I think they blend these things. Well, I got back into painting about 8 years ago, and I moved to Las Vegas and started rock climbing. I camped my first night there at Red Rock Canyon, and I woke up the next morning and I was going to do a plein air painting of the landscape, and it was pitch dark when I set up my camp. So in the morning I hiked up the hill, and it was 5 a.m. and I had my canvas and my paints, and the sun rose over Red Rock Canyon, and it was just mind-blowingly beautiful. It was these red cliffs with white stripes in them, and it was this whole a 13-mile loop road winding through all these canyons, and there's red cliffs on the other side. I thought it was just going to be very flat and gray, and there's this beautiful canyon there, and I decided that I would paint that for the next few years, and I did a painting every week. So I would climb during the week and I would paint on the weekends, in addition to my other sources of income, and that's what got me back into painting. So from there, I explored Utah and I explored Arizona desert, and I was just addicted to Red Rock Desert because it's the most beautiful landscape on the planet. And the way it catches the light, it's this multifaceted color that just captures the light and turns pink and purple and blue and yellow, and it's just very paintable landscape. And after that, I moved to California and started getting into Paso Robles landscape, which is the complete opposite of what I was used to painting. I saw these beautiful rolling hills all around it, perfect little oak trees, but just the same way as I saw in the desert, California scapes catch the light, and you catch it at the right time of day, and you see these majestic purple mountains in the background, and then these buttery green hills with yellow and pink light glimmering off them. So I became addicted to California scapes too, so now I'm kind of split between painting my California state where I grew up in, and the desert scapes where I go to explore. I've been using Fine Art America to sell prints for at least 3 years. I love Fine Art America. It is the greatest tool ever invented for artists. In fact, I teach a lot of art marketing workshops for artists to learn to promote their own work, and I'm always telling them, put your work on Fine Art America. It's a brilliant selling tool because it allows the buyer, the actual collector, to see how their print is actually going to look in terms of sizing and the frame and the canvas, and it gives you a three-dimensional look on the print, so you can see exactly how your print's going to look before you buy it. And I do a lot of art festivals, and I sell my work in my own gallery, and I like to have the opportunity to not have to keep in stock, all these different sizes of every painting that I have. I mean, I have a stock of 300 or 400 paintings that are already sold, and I'm still selling prints on this work that I've created. And Fine Art America lets me print them in any size the customer likes. They can do them large scale, they can do them little, they can do greeting cards, they can print on acrylic, they can print on metal, canvas, paper, and they can get it rolled in a tube or fully framed, and it really gives the customer the ability to choose exactly what they need for their home. Another thing I love about Fine Art America is they actually show you which colors go with the painting that you're selling. So if your painting is very blue dominant or has greens or ochres in it. It shows you those exact colors on the sidebar, which is great for interior designing. You can make sure the painting is going to go with the color scheme in your home. It works great. Well, I probably sell most of my original oil paintings through art festivals and through my current collector base. I also do a lot of gallery events. I have my own gallery in Los Angeles, and I work with other galleries throughout California and the US. I do a big show up at Paso Robles every year. This is coming up this October. It's nice to be able to meet customers in person so they can actually see my paintings. My work is very textural and very colorful, so if they can see them in person, they see the way the light glimmers off the oil, and it's very exciting for them to see it in person. I have a great story about a Fine Art America print. I was delivering an original oil painting to a customer of mine in the Palm Springs area just a few months ago. And I brought the painting in and I looked at the wall and I saw my own painting hanging on the wall, and I turned and there's another of my own paintings hanging on the wall. And I was like, well, I could have sworn I sold this to someone in Texas, and this went to in Austin a few months later. And I'm like, did I sell it to the wrong person? I'm confused. And I'm like, and I swear I did that in a 40 by 36, and that looks like a 40 by 30. And lo and behold, they're just canvas prints, but they are so good that they fooled the actual artists themselves, thinking they were the original painting. And a little tip for anyone that's buying a canvas print, put a spotlight on it. If you have a spotlight on a canvas print, it looks dead real, because well, at least in my prints, I capture the actual texture of the oil, so you're seeing little shadows in the print. So when you're hanging on your wall and you put a spotlight on it, it looks like it's casting little shadows from the spotlight. And until you go totally horizontal to it and look at it eye on like this, you see it's actually a flat canvas. But otherwise, at any other angle, it looks totally textured. It's amazing. It fooled the actual artist. I love helping other artists expand their business. I think it's wonderful that artists can create such fantastic work now and actually share it with the world. It's not like, 100 years ago where you had to, share your work through Ruta Art or through a mentor or through galleries and art museums exclusively. Now we have the opportunity to actually share our work through the internet and reach millions of people that would never have heard your name in a previous lifetime. Artists can sell their work through their own website. They can sell prints through Fine Art America. They can actually meet people in person at art festivals. And an art festival is a fantastic way to sell original work, because the art festival is being responsible for all the promotion, all the show setup. They're reaching a very loyal following of the local residents. And you might have 10,000 people coming through that show looking to buy art. And they come year after year and they purchase art. They're not coming just to kill an afternoon, they're coming to buy art. And so you just show up with your booth and you hang your paintings and you have your prints and you sell work right directly to the customer. And they have an opportunity to talk to you and to learn about how your creative process and how you do your work and how long you've been painting and all the questions they love to ask artists. And you can be there on site to answer them. Well, I travel all over the US to do art festivals. I go as far east as Texas and as far north as Seattle. And I do a lot of shows in California, especially the California desert in the Palm Springs area, as well as the California coast. I just did a show in Beverly Hills, and I have one coming up this weekend in Hermosa Beach, and the weekend after in La Jolla. And later this summer, I'm doing one in San Diego, and then I'm driving up to Bellevue, Washington, and then down to Salt Lake City to do a show. So I travel all over. I have a giant van that fits my whole show setup, and I can take about 30 paintings with me when I go on the road. If you're selling your work online, you want to create an experience where the buyer feels like he's in the presence of the artwork. So however you can engage the collector so that they feel like they can actually touch the painting or see it in a different light. It's great to have like a 3D look on a print or a painting so they can see the light changing on it. Reminds me of, there's some like a business card sites now where they show the business card and they angle it like this so you see it in the light reflecting off it. And it really feels like you're there. Or like Zappos, who you're buying a pair of shoes and they show the person walking on it or picking it up and looking at it, and it's all done on video, but it allows the buyer to feel really confident that they're getting something that they have already experienced. So Fine Art America, again, is a great example of that, because they show how it actually looks in the frame. You can see it at an angle. You can see how it looks canvas wrapped or with a black edge or with a mirror edge wrap. And I just feel, you just want the customer to be very confident that they know what they're getting. This is one of my newest oil paintings, and I just photographed it and posted it up on Fine Art America. The title of the print is Indian Wells. That's a painting in the Palm Springs area where I do a bunch of shows. And you can see with the lighting on here, see how the little ridges cast little shadows in the paint? That's what the eye perceives as being texture. And as long as you can capture that in your photograph, when you create a print of it, you're gonna see texture. And I see people all the time at my art festivals go up to my print bin and touch the prints, and they go, and they look at it from the side, and they really think that there's texture on it. And they ask me, are these enhanced Giclées? And I'm like, no, it's a flat photo print. And really, it's a real tribute to this modern technology of Giclée printing, which just means it's a word that a French marketer made up to mean photo print. So it's using the same technology that you have in your inkjet at home, and they have the cartridges of the cyan, the magenta, and the yellow inks, and they're printing like this down a piece of paper or a piece of canvas. That's what a Giclée print is, and the color quality is just incredible. And it's a really great way for modern artists to promote their work, because you can print a one-off of a print. So if you wanted to buy this, you just buy one of them, and the artist doesn't need to print 10,000 of them, which is how it used to work with lithography. Nowadays, you can just print a single print, and it looks just as good, if not better, as the finest screen print of the past. So welcome to the future. This is the painting I am currently in the middle of. This is a painting of a little reservoir near Paso Robles in Morro Bay called Whale Rock. I painted this reservoir at least a dozen times, and I've seen it in different seasons and in different lighting, and I always feel like there's a unique angle to be had and a unique approach to capturing this beautiful area. I have kind of a unique style. This is a style I've been developing for 20 years, since I started painting in oils. And I've always been a fan of the classic impressionists, as well as plein air painters. And I've always been fascinated when a painter can paint a tree in 3 brushstrokes and have it turn out perfect. And just, you're counting the brushstrokes on the painting. You're like, he painted that tree in 3 brushstrokes. How is that possible? And so I've always really tried to have a minimalist approach to painting and use as few brushstrokes as possible. I do all my work wet on wet, so I work from dark to light. So I'm laying out here the darkest areas of the painting, and then I'm going to work lighter and lighter. So the last parts of the painting will be the lake and the sky and how that is reflected. You can see I pre-mixed my entire palette here. So here's all my darks, my midtones, my lights have all been mixed out ahead of time, so that when I'm painting, I can just paint and really throw the paint around and create amazing texture and kind of a stained glass mosaic approach to the work, where I'm not overlapping the paint. I'm more laying the paint side by side. And I call this style Open Impressionism.